Hi, and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast. Well, man, DT in the building.
You got a grin on your face for?
Because I've got a confession to make on this podcast, yeah? Right? We actually, right, was recording a podcast for nearly over an hour, right? And it weren't recorded. And you know what? We're laughing about it now, but we were so angry at the end of it. But listen, we're here to do the podcast. But you know what? There's one thing that's very funny, right? And DT, right?
What are you up to?
I'm not up to nothing, right? Your transfer prediction on Alexis Sanchez.
Oh, mate.
Let's just run this now. Watch this. This is your man DT on Alexis Sanchez.
I've been asked to give my thoughts on Alexis Sanchez joining Manchester United. Now, I have to do this in a very calm way, without too many swear words. But I would rather pour bleach down my throat whilst watching Jose Mourinho knock one out. It isn't happening. No chance is it happening. This is not going to be a Robin Van Persie part 2. You are not getting him. Quote me on it. Save it. Do whatever you like. You are not getting Alexis Sanchez. Can I be any more clearer than that?
You're a fool. You are an absolute fool.
And you know what? I saw a brilliant video, right, from True Geordie, right? And Geordie, he was going in on you as well, man. He was...
No.
And I mean, honestly, man, come on. What
Listen,
you do?
right.
You cannot make those bold predictions, right?
Listen.
Unless Alexis Sanchez is your brother or something like that.
He
or
was
your
my brother. Listen.
He ain't your brother no more.
Let me explain something, right? And it was something that...
All right, I want to hear this.
It's something that Brian actually made a reference to this in his video, True Geordie, right? First name terms, don't worry.
Is that Brian's True Geordie's real name?
Yeah, and...
You don't look like a Brian.
But
Brian?
Yeah, but he's a Brian. Now...
I thought Geordie was a bad man. Looking at he's like quite a muscular...
Frank. Something like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, anyway, Brian. Now, he made reference to the video.
Brian!
To let you know that video was old. That video is not new. That was not just made or anything like that.
You're talking about Alexis.
Before the start
transfer rumors.
The start of the season, yeah? Guy from Man United channel that we know, I'm not going to even go in on him, all right?
Sam.
That's the one. Right? He turned around and asked me, you know, when Alexis was being linked to Man City, PSG, Bayern Munich and everything else, and it looked like he was going to one of those goals.
All right.
He wanted to know my thoughts on him possibly going to Manchester United at that time. Now, there was Bayern Munich, there was PSG, there was Man City, and very faintly at the background, there was a few murmurs of maybe Manchester United. Give my opinion on it. That was my opinion on it at that time.
All right. So that it was not a recent. It was not like he asked you recently on YouTube.
No, that wasn't no recent video. That was before the season even started. And at that time, if you would have asked any fan, Man City, Bayern Munich, PSG, Man United, where would you put Man United in that queue?
You sure it was right at the
100 million%.
All right, I didn't know it was. I just saw it in the context of
because he released.
When I saw it yesterday, I was like,
that video.
DT,
he
come
released
on,
that
man.
video. He released that video, and there's obviously a good thing about it is the trail when he released the video on YouTube and everything else, way before the season started.
Okay.
So Sam's crafty. He knows what he's done.
Okay. I didn't
get a little popularity to his dead channel and everything. You know what I mean?
I didn't know it was in that context. I thought it was when I saw it, I was like, DT, man, why, man? How can you say that? Guaranteeing.
No, man.
How can you guarantee? You got to be careful. The same thing. I've had the same thing, right? I remember the Loic Remy thing. Back in the day, man, when my little contact at Arsenal rang me up and said, Robbie, 100% Loic Remy is signing for Arsenal. He just left the training ground. They showed him around. And I went bold in it on my Transfer Daily show, man. I said, yep, 100% on it. Next minute, I see a man holding up a Chelsea shirt the next day, and I got absolutely...
Hi, and welcome to Transfer Daily, the show that gives you an update on players that will never sign for Arsenal.
You're funny. But, you're funny. You're
You
very
need to let
funny.
me present one of them.
Well, after what you said about Alexis, nobody would believe anything you said.
You let me
Nobody
go on there
would
and
believe it. No, mate. After that
let
video...
me sit there in front of that famous backdrop, yeah, and sit there and go, hi, welcome to Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with the January transfers of Arsenal Football Club. We're not going to sign anyone.
Yeah, hold on a minute. We could be signing... Well, we could be signing... What would you think, actually, if we got Mkhitaryan?
It's not...
Because they're saying that it's like Alexis one way, Mkhitaryan the other way.
If it's a straight swap, then that's just shit.
What if it's money and Mkhitaryan?
Then I can understand it.
Because remember, a lot of Arsenal fans, when Mkhitaryan first went to Man United, there was a lot of Arsenal fans who wanted Mkhitaryan, very angry at Wenger for not getting that deal done. Mkhitaryan wanted to go to Man United, and then you look at Mkhitaryan, you think his style of play might suit us more than a Mourinho Man United. I don't know.
Like I said, it's not the kind of signing that gets you excited, because if it was the Mkhitaryan straight from Dortmund, then it would give you a bit of excitement like it did Man United fans, because he was unreal at Dortmund. But as you've watched him for the last year and a half at Manchester United, and you've watched his performances and they've not been really...
Could that be Mourinho, though?
Could be.
Because, Mourinho...
De Bruyne, Salah, Lukaku.
Exactly. Look at some of the players.
That's what I'm
some
saying.
of the players that he's let go, and those players, Salah and De Bruyne, are the two best players in the Premier League right now. Two players that Mourinho had and let go.
I tweeted yesterday and I said that if he comes to Arsenal, you've got to give him a chance. And you've got to hope that he rediscovers the form.
Got to be excited about it. I mean, obviously, he's not a replacement for Alexis Sanchez, but you'd have to be excited about a player like Mkhitaryan, wouldn't you?
No, not overly excited. If he can rediscover his form, like I said, then that could be a frightening prospect, especially if we got Aubameyang. And you look at the way them two worked at Dortmund together, and then you throw Mesut Ozil in there and Jack Wilshere and Lacazette, and that looks quite... Because that would actually be a frightening for me. I say to myself, we got a front three of Lacazette, Aubameyang, and Mkhitaryan. And like you said, Ozil, Jack Wilshere behind them. That's a frightening... You know what I mean? That's a frightening team coming forward, isn't it? Yeah, and our back three's frightening as well.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
You know what I mean? God almighty.
Yeah.
That gives me more nightmares than anything.
Okay, yeah, you're right there. I mean, look...
I'm more scared of our back three than my missus cheating on me. Because on this hand, I know my missus ain't going to cheat on me. But on this hand, I know the back three is going to let me down all the time.
Yeah, that back three is awful. We're gonna touch on the...
and it doesn't matter who you put in that back three, it's always scary.
Yeah, we're going to touch on that defence later on. I want to ask you about Alexis, right? You've always been a big, huge fan of Alexis.
No, I ain't.
I love him.
No, I ain't. Never liked the guy.
Now I'm not believing what you said about this Sam thing. No, you were. He's been, and me as well. He's been my favourite player at Arsenal. When he first came, I absolutely loved the guy. What do you think now with him? I mean, Manchester United, man.
You know the problem, right, is that when you've spent so long as an Arsenal fan watching Gervinho and Shamak and Bentner and players like that after the likes of Henry, Bergkamp, etc., and then you get someone like Alexis Sanchez come in.
World class.
And it's just... he excited us from the first moment he stepped on the pitch. There was an air of believing again as an Arsenal fan. There was an air of that times are changing. We've gone through the tough period, the move and all that kind of stuff, and we've had to put up with your Gervinhos and whatnot. But this is it. This is the new dawn. This is the new era. This is the new Arsenal. It's time to get back to where we should be. In reality, we've actually been worse with them than when we had the likes of Gervinho and Shamak and whatnot.
And he's following in the footsteps of Robin Van Persie and going to Manchester United. Manchester United. I mean, Manchester City, I think most Arsenal fans were kind of resigned to that and could take that and say, they're not, even though obviously they're going to win the league and everything, but you're like, we get it. You want to go and play with Pep Guardiola.
I tweeted this the other day about Manchester United and Van Persie and everything, and I can't get a straight answer out of Man United fans. They love putting pictures up of Jesse Lingard. That's all they've got. It's like, yes, you beat us 3-1. Okay, congratulations. I'll send you a fucking Blue Peter badge in the post. All right? Let's talk simple facts. Let's talk about football here. Let's have a proper discussion. Van Persie left Arsenal to go to Manchester United. And at that time, Manchester United were the best team in the country. I know they'd just lost the league the year before, but it was only on goal difference. We all know the old Aguero moment and everything else. Manchester United were the best team in the country. They had the best manager in the country, in Sir Alex Ferguson. Van Persie was justified to go. Right?
You didn't say that at the time.
No, I didn't. Because you remember Van Persie's statement, and you sat there and thought, that's a bit bitter of him, isn't it? It's a bit, you look at that statement now, Van Persie was Wenger out before all of us. You know what I mean? Van Persie would have been holding that banner up way before any of us were. And you look at it, and he was right. You look at the situation now, and it's role reversed. Man City are that Manchester United of now. They're the team that are going to go and win the league. They're the team that, in my opinion, are going to dominate the league for the next few years. They're the team that have got the best manager in the league.
At the moment.
But then
you can look on it, and you could say that Alexis Sanchez might be looking at it and saying, well, actually, I'm going to join a team with Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Lingard, Lukaku, top players all over the pitch. A team that will go out there and go again. Might try and bring in a Griezmann or might try and bring in certain... A team that...
There's only two players that you mentioned.
A team that's got a potential of winning...
There's only two players there that I rate, that you mentioned.
What, out of all the...
Yeah.
Who's that?
Pogba.
Yeah.
Martial.
Lukaku?
No, Donkey. You see him try to do an overhead kick the other day, kicked it in his face. The guy's a donkey.
No.
He never scores against any of the top sides. He scores against,
He scored more goals than Lacazette this season.
Lacazette's only just came into the league. Lacazette,
more goals.
Apart from the Chelsea game in the Carabao Cup, he's only ever played in the Premier League.
He scored more goals than any Arsenal player.
It's not difficult the way we're playing. He's only
every year
in 70-odd minutes.
Every year Lukaku scores 20 goals. Even when he's at West Brom, he was nearly on 20 goals. He's a top player.
No, he ain't.
He's a top player.
No, he ain't.
Rashford's a top player. They've got top players all over the pitch.
Rashford's got potential still.
And they've got the ability. They've got the ability to go out there and, go again.
But they ain't got the ability to match Man City.
Well, they are in this.
No, they're not.
They're gazumping Man City. They're going... They've come in, right? Man City, every single person thought he was going to Man City, including you. I saw the video.
Man City...
But every single person thought he was going to Man City.
Man City
right?
could gazump Manchester United if they wanted to. They're just not being mugged off. They're not being mugged off by Alexis, and they're not being mugged off by Arsenal. They had their agreement in place. They had a gentleman's agreement. They had everything all laid out and right. The only thing that was different from the summer to now was how much they were giving Arsenal. And by all accounts of what they're saying, it was about 10 million between them. Man City wanted 20. Arsenal wanted 30. They were probably going to meet in between there. But the one thing Man City did not expect was the agreement with Alexis to change. You're going to get this much. Your agent gets that much. Everything's all in place. Weekly salary, you name it.
Right, you may be right on that, but what I'm saying is a bold move by Manchester United to come in and the player that City have targeted since last season, Manchester United have come in now and they've nicked him.
But
they've nicked him off. That's a bold move. That's a bit like when City got Tevez.
No, they haven't nicked him, right? Because Man City pulled out of their own accord. Man City had a meeting and said, right, do we go and match what Man United are doing and blow them away? Or do we look at this and say, you know what? Nah.
But don't you think that if they can get it right, I mean, you're looking at United's squad now, with those calibre of players that they got in it, they can start.
No.
Next season, they're going to be, they're going to be pushing on for that league with Alexis Sanchez in that team.
Nope, because Man City will just get stronger. And Man City will go and identify someone in the summer to, take the place of where Alexis would have got. They'll go out there and they'll get a Griezmann. And if they go head-to-head for like a Griezmann, they'll blow Man United out of the water. Absolutely destroy them. They could destroy any team in this league.
But United's their spending power. Listen, before the whole the Coutinho stuff and things, but the most expensive player in the Premier League had been, isn't it? Pogba and Lukaku. They've spent the most money. They've spent the most. They've gone the biggest on players. United. When it comes to
what's it got them?
Not yet. It hasn't got them anything yet. Regarding the league.
Like
but
I told you, Man City have got the best squad in the league. Man City have got the best manager in the league.
They got the best manager for sure.
And
Pep Guardiola.
Man City will just add to what they do this year.
Alexis Sanchez, as I said, you know, and me as well. We've been big lovers of this guy, right? When he comes back to the Emirates, cheering him or booing him, because he's gone for the money, isn't it?
He'll get a bad reception.
He's gone for the dollars, isn't he? He's not gone for. He's not like Van Persie, where he's saying I'm going to win things. He's going really. Then what you're saying is essentially it's all about the money for him.
I believe that given his conduct over the last couple of months, it's kind of angered a lot of fans. I believe he's a winner, and that's why I say go to Man City.
But he's a selfish guy. He's like,
yeah, of course he is.
He's been even when he's been in the team for about the past season or so. You've heard it, I've heard it from certain people that know, people behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. They said he's been very disruptive in that changing room. He's been very selfish. It's all about him. You can be a winner, but it's also a team game. And he's not really been a team player over the past season or so. And there's apparently a lot of Arsenal players that are glad to see the back of him, right? Who have to deal with him day in, day out.
It's hard.
And it is starting to look like he has been... now you're seeing this move. This move is not about... Well, in a way you can say it is because, he's going to a very, very big club, but...
But not the best.
So then what you're saying, it's all about the money, then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's basically to try and claw back...
It's the P.
It's trying to claw back some of the money he lost in unpaid taxes.
Yeah, because he had those... That's true, he had those tax problems.
He's in trouble with what happened in Barcelona and whatnot. And, he's basically gone for the biggest wedge. I think that if Chelsea, for example, come in and offer more than Manchester United, he'll go, bye-bye, United. No, sorry. Yeah, see you later. Go on, Chelsea.
Just the P.
That's what it is. It's the P, man. It's the paper. And he gets to keep his dogs in London. We all know how much he loves Atlam Humber. He ain't having no bailiff coming to the door taking his dogs away. You know what I mean? We saw what happened to Heavy D when bailiffs knock on the door.
Leave Heavy D alone, man.
You know what I mean?
Leave Heavy D.
You know what?
I forgot to ask you about that start of the programme, man. You went in too hard on Heavy D. I felt a bit bad for Heavy D, the way you... I mean, I don't know why we went on that programme for, but come on, man. Cut the guy a bit. Why are you getting so serious? You went in hard on him, man.
What's this? See this? See that?
Yeah.
It's the smallest violin in the world. Start playing it.
No, you went in too hard on Heavy D.
He wanted to try and go in on me the other week. Karma.
You got to be the bigger man, man.
Karma.
Bigger man.
It was on national television. It's on national TV. He decided to
Yeah,
go
but he's on
Judge
national
Rinder.
TV, and you're the one who took it off of national TV and put it all over social media.
What are you on about?
Look, here's FED.
He was also tweeting about it because he was tweeting.
He tweeted about it after you put the.
No, because someone had, loads of people had seen him on it. Loads of people were tweeting him, and he was retweeting them.
I hadn't seen it until I saw your tweet
You don't
with the
watch
video
Judge
on it,
Rinder.
and you laughing, ha ha ha, that laughing.
You don't watch Judge Rinder.
No, I don't watch Judge Rinder.
Do you know what I mean? You know what, right? The thing is, yeah, it was the most weirdest thing, and it was. I was going through the channels and had my little boy and just of all the time, and it was just. I remember my Skybox had reset, and when it resets, you start from like. It's like a page that comes up to let you know about all the features and what you can get, and you basically start from BBC One. And I was just flicking through, and it was just boom, Judge Rinder, ITV, and all I saw was Eminem staring at me. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know why.
Butcher,
Why did Heavy D go on that program? I don't know.
man like Pat Butcher was there in his suit, like sweating. And yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Poor Heavy D, man. Poor Heavy D.
$5,000 by Judge Rinder.
Heavy D will be back, man. Heavy D will be back, man. You know what I mean?
Boom.
You're evil, man. Let's get back on the football. Yeah. Football, right? I even forgetting what I'm talking about now that you've sidetracked me off. So, Alexis, right? So you're going to boo him when he comes back?
Yeah, man.
You're going to boo Walcott? He's gone as well. Theo's gone.
No. I'm actually hoping because
joined Everton.
I know that Alexis's banners are still up in the stadium.
Why? Get them banners down, man.
I know, but obviously he hasn't gone yet, so they've left them up. And you know what? We've got a game this weekend, so it'd be quite interesting if it ain't sorted out before then whether them banners are still there or not.
Well, you're the banner man.
Banner man, give me them banners. Imagine if I get my hands on that Good Boys one. Yeah.
But I mean,
Theo Walcott.
Another one with a lot of players going, man.
Yeah. Well, it's time.
A lot of players going. Kieran Gibbs left. Oxlade-Chamberlain left. I was looking at that picture the other day of you remember that famous picture, the
British core.
The British core. The only people left out of that now is Wilshere and
Cole Jenkinson.
And he's injured.
He's on loan.
Well, he's on loan at Birmingham, but he came back because he got a long-term injury. So Carl Jenkinson was on it. Gibbs.
He's another one that we need to get off
left.
the wage bill. Cole Jenkinson.
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Oh, look, Cole Jenkinson was an Arsenal fan as a kid. He's got a bedroom full of Arsenal pictures. Yeah, so did I. You ain't giving me 40, 50 grand a week, are ya? Do you know what I mean? Get him off the wage bill. Not good enough. Bye-bye. See you later. Another one, Matt Debucci. Bye-bye. See you later. Go. Theo Walcott, yes, he's off the wage bill now. I won't slag him off and I won't,
Why? It's unusual for you because normally you'd be ripping into...
Because
I've
seen, know what, he's never disrespected the club.
I did a transfer daily and I said, is it goodbye or good riddance?
It's good riddance.
You feel it's good riddance?
It is good riddance because he needs to be off the wage bill now and it's done. But I won't disrespect him in the sense that, he's never... said anything bad about the club. He's always just kept his head down. But at the same time... I
feel a bit sorry for him, man.
No, at the end of the day, the man's been on about 140 grand a week for the last 4 years or so since he's had his new contract. Right? That's what? Over £7 million a year. About 29 to 30 million pound over the 4 years. He's been paid very, very handsomely by the club. Yeah.
Actually, I don't feel sorry for him no more.
Exactly.
But when I say that, it's just because, throughout his career at Arsenal, remember he came in sort of roundabout, we just lost Henry and all them sort of things.
Wenger ruined him.
He came in and he was such a hot prospect, and then he always seems to have a little good patch, gets injured, has to recover, comes back, starts easing his way back, has a good patch, gets injured again. Remember that time against Tottenham? He scored that brace, looking brilliant, got injured, stretched it off. We didn't see him again for months and months and months. Scored 19 goals, was it last season? Got injured again.
Yeah.
He just can't get going all the time. He's always injured.
But his deal with Everton nearly fell through. You know that?
No.
Yeah.
Why is that?
He was found offside on the M6.
Yeah, I mean, last week's game against Bournemouth, he came on, and I don't think he did a meaningful touch of the ball. He was just offside every single time.
I heard that the final straw for Theo, and what's made him go, yeah, I'm going, was being put sub behind Iwobi against Chelsea and Bournemouth after everything that had happened with Iwobi as well. And yet you're still putting him ahead of Walcott, and that's when he went, nah, need to go. It's done.
I got a funny feeling.
Imagine he tears it up at Everton.
He might do all right, Everton, you know, because he's actually he's not as bad as player as what people make out, and I just feel that he's a guy that for the last few years he's needed a new challenge. He's been that typical Arsenal player that's been at Arsenal too comfortable, in his comfort zone, just trotting out there, and I just felt that he's as well. He's. I always used to say about Theo Walcott, every time, even when he does start, he's always the first guy subbed off, and it doesn't seem to bother him.
No.
And that to me is a problem. You know what I mean? You know, you should be hungry that you want to be starting week in, week out. And he just seemed a player that was just comfortable with his situation at Arsenal.
Yeah, comfortable with everything.
He needed a new challenge, and we needed someone else in that position. I think it's best for both parties. And I can see him doing better there. And Sam Allardyce is a guy that sometimes gets the best out of players.
Yeah.
He used to do it back in the day with Dorkiev and Campo, JJ Okocha, all those guys that were nearing the end of their career. He got the best out of them at the end. Who knows? He might be able to do that with Theo, but I think definitely from Arsenal's point of view, they needed to ship. He should have went in the summer.
And who we got back at the Emirates in a couple of weeks?
Everton. And you can see him coming there and banging one in, innit?
Yeah, man. Banging one in. You imagine him running at our defence.
I didn't even think of that as well.
Jesus.
The way we've been defending.
We just want to hope we catch him offside all the time.
Yeah, it'll be offside, don't worry, it'll be offside.
But it's just...
But we never got the best out of this guy, did we?
Never. And I blame Arsene Wenger for that. You look at the difference in Raheem Sterling now.
Yeah, with Pep Guardiola.
So you do sit there and say to yourself, imagine a couple of years under Pep Guardiola, where would Theo be?
True.
You know, I do think that he is a bit brain dead. He hasn't got a football brain, which is why he's offside all the time. You know, simple things. Look across the line. You're taught it as a kid. You look across the line. You should never be offside if you're looking across the back line. But he's always offside. And then you see him, just runs back. It's like this. And it's just like... I'm just looking and I'm
he's frustrated. Like, I think he's frustrating.
He's
the most frustrating player.
I met him and he's a really nice guy.
I met him as well, really nice. I mean? You're right.
But he is also one of them.
Humble guy, nice guy.
He's one of them guys you could strangle. And you could just go, come on, man. You know what I mean? And tell you a story actually about him a few weeks ago. I can't remember what game it was. It was...
Well, he ain't played many.
I think it was the Carabao Cup game after West Ham. And obviously, you know where I park and everything else. And I came out and I was actually behind Theo when I came out. And they let us out and turned right. And you go up towards where the 12 pins is. And there's set traffic lights and everyone gets sort of caught, don't they, and whatnot. And the lights were green. So he never got caught with the first lot of fans that were all running after the cars and everything else. We went up and I ended up being behind him for ages going up. And I had my... 7-year-old boy with me, and he was like, yeah, Dad. He goes, if we catch him at the traffic lights, jump out and ask for like his autograph or something for me on my program. I was like, yeah, fine. So we got caught at set traffic lights right up, jumped out the car with my program.
He drove off.
Nah, he would have been offside. And knocked on his window and said to him, can he like sign a program for my boy and everything? And he was like, yeah, no problem, mate. What problem? Chatted, done it. You know what I mean? And went. And then when we was further off, he went off and I went off my way. And then we ended up both on the main road that takes you to where the M1 is. And he's turned down the slip road by going where Barnet Way is, and I'm going to the M1. We was at a set of traffic lights again, and he's now on the left-hand side to me. And my boy's there like, it's Theo. You know, he don't realise he's shit. He's 7. You know what I mean? He's just like, it's Theo. And he's like waving at him at the window and stuff. And Theo's just like, hey, how you doing? Done his window down and like spoke to my boy and everything. And it was really nice, really nice. Don't have to do that. Don't have to. Could be just like not even look and just be like, yeah, just make out I'm not noticed him sort of thing, and just like, but no, took the time to just like, you know, could have just been like wave sort of thing.
No,
but then took the actual time to do his window down to like, you know, say to him like, you're all right, and my boy's just like, like to a 7-year-old boy.
He's a decent guy,
You know what
and
I mean?
I wish him all the best there. And I hope he can get back into the England
I think it's
team.
the best thing. I think it's the best thing for all concerned.
Now,
it's best for Theo and Arsenal.
What if we get Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang coming to Arsenal? It started off as a rumour. We spoke to Guillaume Balaguer the other day, and he said there's something in it. I'd love that to happen. I can't believe there's some Arsenal fans saying, oh, yeah, so what? He's a world-class player. You know what I mean?
You know the problem.
World-class. He's a top goal scorer in the Bundesliga last year. 21 goals already this year.
Yeah.
He's done it at all levels. He's brilliant.
You know the problem? Why them fans think like that? Because I did it the other day. I was getting buzzing. I was like, Aubameyang, man!
That'd be a great replacement for Alexis.
But we still got Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, but attacking-wise, Wenger's, you know, he sets up his team attacking-wise well.
It looks frightening, but so does that back three.
Yeah, that's
We're not always going to score more goals than the other team.
Well, what would you think of Aubameyang? Because there's some people, I heard some people say, yeah, but he's disciplined. Listen, man.
So what? We've just sat here and had this conversation about Theo Walcott and comfortability and everything else.
Alexis's discipline ain't been great, has it?
No.
So,
but I'd have 11 Alexis's all day long.
Yeah.
Because the guy's a winner. So bring him in the team. Bring a bit of nastiness in there. Bring someone that's not going to sit there and just be comfortable. And
I mean, he's a flamboyant character, he is. You know what I mean? He's got a rap record about him.
Have you seen his car?
His car's
like a bright turquoise.
Yeah, the way he dresses and that as well.
He has cars that match the colour of his trainers.
Yeah.
Most people have trainers that match the colour of their top.
I mean, he's like, if I could describe him as like, he's like a Floyd Mayweather type character in football, isn't he?
He even puts masks on when he scores. And stuff.
Batman mask and Spider-Man and Superman and
all kinds.
He's a real character, but maybe we need something like that in this team.
Maybe we do.
There is no real characters at the moment in Arsenal's team, is there? And maybe he could bring something to that team, a bit of flamboyance. We need something. We need something.
I'll tell you something, man. I'm waiting for him to do his first celebration if he scores for us and he puts like a mask on or something.
A Wenger mask.
Oh, no, don't.
That'd be brilliant.
And then some idiot turns up at the game the week later wearing a full kit with his name on the back and one of them masks on. It's like we see grown men.
You know, Ty would have the mask.
It's like we see a grown man wearing like a goalkeeper's kit with the helmet that Czech's got. Like,
I have seen that.
I can understand the kid that's 6, 7, 8 years old. It's all right. Even my kid, I'd be like, you're not walking out the house wearing that thing on your head. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, okay, I'll let you wear a full kit because you'll get away with it because you're 7 years old. But you ain't wearing one of them hats. If you are, you're walking with your granddad to the game. You're not walking with me.
But listen, that would be an amazing signing.
It would be. You know what? If we sign Aubameyang, I'm hosting your Transfer Daily show.
No, I've got one for you.
No, I'm hosting that show.
No, I've got a better one. If we sign Aubameyang, right?
Here we go.
Do you think we got a chance to sign him?
Yeah, I do.
If we sign Aubameyang, you've got to wear one of his masks and present my transfer show.
Do you know what?
You got to, yeah.
Go. All right,
so
cool.
you can present the part of the show.
Wearing a Spider-Man mask.
Wearing a Spider-Man mask.
All right.
Or a Batman mask or something like that.
Batman. Yeah, all right, cool. I'll come up, sat in front of that famous
backdrop. You hear that?
I mean?
Cut it, chop it up,
do what? Listen, I'll happily sit there in front of that backdrop that you have, the Transfer Daily thing, giving it the whole...
That sounds like you don't think it's going to happen then.
No, I'll fully do it. I'll stand there and I'll present the show when it's like,
do you think
hi and welcome to Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with the January transfer moves of Arsenal Football Club. Today, we've signed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Jesus, if I'm struggling, imagine how Paul Merson's going to feel. Do you know what I mean? When you throw Mavropanos and all them lot in there as well.
Mkhitaryan.
He'd be like the Greek guy and the guy from Gabon and the guy...
These are from Armenia.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's like...
But that'd be a frightening front three.
It would be. It would be.
Mkhitaryan, Lacazette, Aubameyang. I like the sound of that, whether it will happen or not.
He'll probably play Aubameyang right wing back.
I can't get excited because Arsenal, it's Arsene Wenger.
Exactly. There you go. You're starting to feel like me now.
Just when it
Welcome
comes
to
to...
my
But
world.
then having said that, the thing is, right, this new guy, Sven Mislintat, or if I hope I pronounce his name right, this guy, these all seem to be correlating to him.
Yeah.
Aubameyang, he brought in Aubameyang apparently to Borussia
and
Dortmund.
he's apparently the one that's telling Arsenal he's not a problem. Don't worry about his discipline.
He discovered Mkhitaryan, brought Mkhitaryan in from into Dortmund as well.
He's the one that wants Malcolm.
He wanted Malcolm when he was at Dortmund. He wanted to bring him in as a replacement. Yeah, he wanted to bring in Malcolm as a replacement for Ousmane Dembele, who went to Barcelona.
He brought Dembele to Dortmund as well, didn't he?
He brought Dembele to Dortmund. Mavropanos. Oh, here we go. Ooh.
Don't worry about man.
Oh, Greek now. right.
He smashed a few plates in my time.
But he brought him in. And
he looks good. He looks really good. If he, it's like, I know that,
to change our transfer thing, really. This guy's having a big influence on it, isn't it?
This is the thing. A lot of people will look at it and go, the Greek league and whatever, and with all due respect to them, it's like, it's not the greatest league in the world, so you can't use it as a barometer.
Yeah, because Greek second division.
But if he can, but from what I've seen of him,
looks decent.
Powerful.
I mean, Wenger said he hadn't seen him play yet, and then they were going to send him out on loan. And when Wenger saw him play, he's like, no, keep this guy.
Arsene Wenger had never seen Igor Stepanovs play and signed him on the recommendation of Bergkamp and that, didn't he? Because they were winding him up.
Taking the mick, yeah.
Said that in my last one,
But do you think to yourself now that there's sort of a change at the moment with our transfer policy?
Yeah.
With this guy coming in, he's seeming to having a lot of influence.
Things are happening quicker. Because, normally, like, we joke and everything, but with your Transfer Daily show, you could be talking about a player on the 1st of January and you're still talking about him on the 30th. Could we be signing this player finally? And you go back to January the 1st and you were talking about it then. But it seems like, one of the things that we've had is we see Man United or Chelsea or something, they're linked with a player. By the end of the week, he's wearing a shirt. It seems very much like this is starting to go that way. And it ain't
and he kind of seems to be looking at players that will suit what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Although I still ain't seen no defenders coming.
If this works, then it's not down to Wenger's shrewdness or anything like that.
It's down to this new guy.
Not just down to the new guy because he's the one who's recommending those players, but it's also down to luck of fucking our contracts up with Alexis and stuff.
Yeah, but if he replaces... The thing is, what I say is this, right? If you got a player like the Alexis thing, all right, they messed it up. We know it's Arsenal who messed it up. But if he is going to go, replace him with another world-class player, right? And if they got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in as a replacement, I'm personally very happy about that. I think
that without Sven and without this new guy from Barcelona and without the fact that Ivan Gazidis has moved to the training ground to oversee everything, I don't think with all of these little factors, we would get Aubameyang or we'd even be considering him because Wenger would go no.
Because we want to see the best players coming in.
Not spending £60 million on someone that's 28, nearly 29.
Well, I don't want to hear these things no more because we saw that poll that come out, right? A poll that's come out, an independent poll where they're talking about clubs that make the most off of their fans. And Arsenal are the number one team in the world for making money out of their fans.
And
number
who told you
one.
that first?
The poll.
No, I did. Liverpool.
Oh, yeah, there was a video where you said on a match day they make the most money off of fans. Yeah, you did say that.
And people will go, no, you don't make more money than Real Madrid and Barcelona. Listen, I do.
We make way more money than Barcelona.
DTFC. DT knows.
All right, you got one thing right. You didn't get the Alexis thing right, though, did you?
Chop it up. Chop it up. Use it.
All right. We'll chop up that bit of use it.
Can I have your permission to use that little segment of the video?
You can.
Right, I'm going to put that up later on.
Try and save yourself a bit.
I'm going to put that up later on. I'm using that.
But, we make the most money. By far. I think Chelsea are second.
The thing is, have you seen the prices of the chicken burgers at Arsenal?
I know, man. I know. We make a lot. So fans don't want to hear no excuses about money no more.
Ask me a question.
£40 million for Ox. Where's that? £15 million for Coquelin.
You're not getting none of it.
£20 million for Walcott.
Have you ever had a chicken burger at Arsenal?
I haven't, no. I haven't.
Cameraman, how's towel?
You had a chicken burger there?
Is it dry?
Dead.
Know what I mean?
Bring your own pepper, man.
Whatever you do, though, don't get troops to cook it. You lot will find out very soon why. Yeah? Yeah?
But
salty, innit, bro? I can't wait for that video to get dropped.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Yeah,
we don't want to hear no excuses
Where the
on
money
money.
gone? Where has it gone?
Coquelin, as I said, 15
Yeah,
million.
do you know what? We hadn't even spoken about Coquelin going.
20 million for Walcott, 40 million for Ox. Gibbs, we got money for. We've made a profit. We made a profit in the summer last year. We only bought Lacazette. There's money there. There's lots of cash.
What did I say in my thing?
Available to Arsene Wenger. To me, the Lacazette thing, the Aubameyang thing, there's no excuses. If it comes down to money, if he turns around and says he's going elsewhere because he wants himself to go elsewhere, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But if it's down to money, the money is there to get these deals done.
Exactly. And the thing is that I said it after the Bournemouth game. Huddersfield have spent more money than us. Sorry, but if we're a team that are trying to be, you know, as Ivan Gazidis said, up there with the likes of Bayern Munich, then we need to be spending more than Huddersfield Town.
Yeah.
We need to be right up there.
But we're nearer Huddersfield than we are Man City, innit?
We need to be going out there and spending 60, 70 million on a proven player.
Liverpool, you know, I know they lost Coutinho, but they went and did the problem in their defence and they've got Van Dijk for £75 million. You've got to replace top players with top players.
And the money's overinflated. You know,
it is what it is. That's how the market is right now.
At the end of the day, when I look at what they're touting for Aubameyang, I'm sitting there and thinking, you know what, in today's market, that's a good price.
That's a good price. I mean, he's 28, £53 million, they're saying.
Or they're saying half of that and Olivier Giroud.
I wouldn't want to lose Giroud, actually.
No, because you know what? Because you're saying, you know, this is what I'm saying. You're saying half of that. 30, so you're kind of valuing Giroud at 30 million. Listen,
I wouldn't sell Giroud.
Chelsea are about to spend 30 million on Andy Carroll.
I don't know what's going on with Chelsea.
Yeah? If Andy Carroll is worth 30 million, then Olivier Giroud's worth 60.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't want to sell Giroud. I think Giroud is a great plan B. I think he's a great guy that you can bring off the bench. I really wouldn't want to sell
I think that could work as well as someone that could work.
Yeah.
You know, you come into certain games where, you know, things are a bit tight, we can't break them down, put the ball up into
We've seen
Giroud.
how we've missed Giroud recently.
You know, put the ball into Giroud and you've got the likes of Lacazette and Aubameyang or Mkhitaryan or Ozil or Wilshere or... You know, just, oh man, that sounds nice, doesn't it? It's juicier than the burgers that they serve at Arsenal, isn't it?
Going forwards, it could be good. Like you said,
but going back...
defensively, I mean, let's touch on that game last week against Bournemouth. I mean,
let's not, please.
That was rubbish, man. That was utter rubbish.
Dead.
The performance of the team. And do you know the worst thing about it? Bournemouth were rubbish. And they beat us 2-1. I was watching it, I was like, Bournemouth are terrible. And we were controlling the game, but we were rubbish.
But there was no penetration.
Right? Yeah, and even when we went 1-0 up, we had chances. I think Bellerin had another chance that he did
just after he scored.
There was chances for Welbeck. He was trying to have too many touches. I think there was one chance for Iwobi. It was dreadful. And there was a guy who said to me, he goes, Robbie, you know what, if at half-time, the Arsenal players... He goes, when half-time came, he goes, those Arsenal players went into the wrong dressing room and put Bournemouth kits on and came back out. He goes, the only two players you look at that team and say they're in the wrong kit would be Lacazette, even though the way he played on that day was terrible, but the guy said Lacazette and Wilshere. He goes, everybody else, he'd be like, keep that kit on. That's your standard. That's your level. I mean, they were poor.
I feel really sorry for Lacazette because the service the guy's getting is non-existent.
Although he's not been performing. I mean, you can say service, but he's got to have a bit more about his game. When the service ain't coming, he's also got to have a bit more about him.
Did you notice how deep he was dropping?
Very deep. He was sometimes like he's playing like a midfielder.
So that was showing how frustrated he was because he wasn't getting the ball. And he was
just there's nowhere else there went.
Give me the ball. You know, why is Lacazette dropping into a midfield role? Because he didn't get the ball. And I feel so sorry for him because we have not played to his strengths yet.
No.
And that's why maybe you look at maybe selling Alexis and bringing in, you know, if it happens, an Aubameyang and a Mkhitaryan or something. It could actually be more beneficial to the team as a whole. And it might be good for camaraderie and, you know, because we talk about Alexis's problems or this and that and the other, you know, and it was highlighted the other week when Alexis scored in one of the games, Palace, wasn't it? When, you know, did the players deliberately not come over and celebrate some of them? He was indicating, why ain't you coming over? And so it kind of says that there is, I don't take too much into that because
there was a bad vibe between him and a lot of other players.
You know, defenders don't have to.
And the week after, they all made a point of going over to celebrate with him. But I think there was a lot of players that didn't really get on with Alexis.
There's definitely something there, and it's, you know, and it's Iwobi, the whole situation with that. I know that you had a conversation with his dad. Yeah,
I spoke to his dad, and his dad said, listen...
Made a note of mentioning me.
He did. His dad said, that DT! But actually, to be fair to his dad, he said, I saw what DT and some of the other guys said about my son, and he goes, they were right. He said, my son, he let himself down. He goes, he shouldn't have been there. He goes, in mitigation, his son thought that there was only going to be a couple of his close friends at this thing. And when he got there, he turned up and there was a load of people there, and it's obviously one of those outer circle people have taken the Snapchats and that and then sent it to the Sun newspaper of all places. And a lot of the story, his dad was saying, a lot of it was grossly exaggerated, right? About drugs and all that, you know what I mean? He goes, it was grossly exaggerated, but he did acknowledge, and his son acknowledged, that he shouldn't have been there. And he said that actually he thinks it's going to be a good thing for his son because now he's 100% focused on just his career and just making, you know, and he knows that he let the team down and he let Arsene Wenger down. He's put a lot of faith in him. So he's learnt a lot from it. And remember, at Chelsea, at the end of the game, and I give him a lot of respect for that because he knows that fans are very angry with him. He came out, made a point. He's the first one over to the fans and saying sorry and stuff like that. And I actually, there's a little problem I've got at the moment because he's been made, I understand fans are angry because of what happened, but he is being made a little bit of a scapegoat. I thought against Bournemouth, apart from Jack Wilshere, he was our next best player. Frustrating, I understand, because there was occasions in that game where he got himself into great positions, beating players, but his finishing was poor, his decision-making, but he's an up-and-coming player. And his assist for the goal was a brilliant assist for the goal, but...
I think he should be taken out of the firing line.
Yeah?
And I think he should probably go back into the under-23s for a couple of games. Start to enjoy his football again. Put a smile back on his face. I think that he needs to...
Could knock his confidence, if you drop him down to the under-23s.
Because at the end of the day, sometimes you've got to take a look at the bigger picture and you've got to sit there and say, you know what, yeah, I did wrong. I broke the curfew of the club. I know the rules. I do apologise, but yeah, my football's not great at the moment.
I mean, I suppose, actually...
And because you're putting more pressure on him.
It's that thing we was talking, actually, you make a point, actually, because that thing we was talking about comfort with Walcott.
Yeah.
Where these guys just know that they'll be playing no matter what.
And do you know what? If he hasn't already, I think Iwobi needs to sit down with Jack Wilshere. Because you remember Jack Wilshere? He was very heavily into social media at a time, and then he stopped and everything. There was smoking, all that kind of stuff. And Jack Wilshere has had to go away. He's had all the injuries. Now, in a certain respect, you can kind of understand why Jack Wilshere's kind of gone off the rails a little bit, because he's sitting there thinking, fuck this. You know, I'm sick of all these injuries. I need a fag. I need... Do you know what I mean? You can kind of... It's not excusable, but you can understand it in a certain respect. But look at where he is now. The man's now settled down. He's married. He's got another baby on the way.
He's changed his diet around and everything. And he's like a vegan now and stuff like that.
And he now understands what's good for his body. He understands what's bad, how to train, how not to train, how to condition himself. He's done everything he has to do to get himself back to where he is right now. And I think that someone like Jack probably has put his arm around Alex and said to him, listen, you're going to fuck your career up. You're going to mess your whole life
I know his dad would have done that as well.
You know what I mean? And I know his dad, and I know JJ probably would have as well. You know, I've sat and had conversations with JJ before when we've been at events and stuff. And you don't see some of the things that get said off camera. You know, and I know the likes of JJ Okocha and his dad and stuff would have been fuming. And they probably said some things that you probably wouldn't like to have seen to Alex Iwobi. And he would have had to been brought back down to earth and he would have had to learn some harsh realities.
This has brought him down to earth.
I just think there's a culmination of everything. This girl that he got involved with, And the whole drama's over that. Did he cheat? And she pissed off, and then she's parading around saying that, you know, he's got a little dick, and he's like, you know, she used him for his money and all this kind of stuff. It hasn't helped him. It hasn't helped him. And then I see that after the party fiasco come out, she put a Snapchat thing out because it started going over social media where she's saying like, who's going to get the blame for this now I'm not around? Because she seemed to have got the blame for everything that was going wrong with him. So there's still something, what he needs to do, lock off everything.
Just concentrate on your football,
Yeah,
man.
I know that Iwobi doesn't control his Twitter account because I've had the conversation with him when I met him. And I said to him, follow me on Twitter, innit? And he was like, I'm probably just saying it, but he was like, no, I don't. He only deals with his...
No, he's probably just telling you.
No, I mean, no, but he said that his Snapchat and his Snapchat is what he deals with. And when he goes on Periscope and whatnot, but he said all his other stuff is run by media team and whatnot. What he needs to do, that Snapchat and everything, lock it off.
I agree.
What's more important?
I agree.
I understand that you do. It's nice for players and stuff to have a little bit of a rapport with fans and stuff. But right now, the fans don't like you. Not in a nasty way, but the fans are angry with you. Okay, you're in a position that a lot of us would love to be in, and we're not happy. So the last thing we want to see is you on Snapchat and giving it all day, and all this and that. Even though it's innocent, we do lock it all off. Get on with your life. Get on with your football, and then eventually you can go back onto it.
Get on with your career. I mean, I remember speaking to Troy Deeney when we was at one of them FIFA events, and there was a lot of young footballers there, and Troy Deeney goes to me, he goes, you know what? He goes, I always tell these young players, he goes, because some of them get excited about playing 10 games for the season and carry on like they've made it. And he goes, it's not about playing 10 games a season, it's about having a 10-year career. You know what I mean? And he's had such wise words.
Antonio said that as well.
Yeah, and you know, I just think, you know, when you're a young player, like you said, you're not in this for long. It's a short career. You know, Ronaldinho, who's been a great servant, he retired from football yesterday. He's 37. So you're not exactly an old man. People look on it, yeah, 37 old. That's not an old man. That's still a young person, a young guy. So you're not in it for long. Make the best of it. Make the most of it. You can do all that after, but make the most of your career. And you know what? I look at certain players, and I think you can tell the focused players. Yeah. There's one guy right across North London who we might hate on sometimes, but that guy, I look on him. He's a model professional. That guy, Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, yeah.
You never see nothing with him on social media. You know, not really much. You don't really hear no stories about him. You never hear about him in any clubs or this or that. He's just focused on scoring goals, and he's doing it. And from what I've been told, you know, I remember meeting this Tottenham scout, and he said to me, he goes, that guy worked and worked and worked on his game. He wasn't the naturally gifted guy in the academy, but he worked his socks off to get where he is. And if you're going to be a footballer, you have to have that commitment. You know, in anything you do, if you want to reach to the top, even in what we do, there's a lot of people that be like, I see other channels and stuff like that, and after the game they're jollying up with it. We'll be there till like 4 a.m, sometimes 5. I remember when we first started this, I'd have like an hour's sleep, and you go, but if you want your thing to grow, you've got to put it in. And it's the same. It's even more important with footballers because with football, the margins are so small that if you go out the night before and party till late, it is going to affect your game. It's not just a thing that these guys, Wenger or whoever's in charge will tell a player. It's actually true that if you go out when you're a top athlete and you're finely tuned, lack of sleep, going out the night before, when you need to have your rest ready for that game, could lose you a couple of percent of your performance. And that couple of percent in a game where everybody's playing at 100 could be enough to make you lose concentration and give the ball away at a vital time, and the other team goes down the other end and scores. And that's why you've got to be fully focused. And I hope that Iwobi's learnt from this. Other guys as well, talking about focus.
Danny Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck.
Someone take him. Please. There must be someone that wants him. Seriously. Even in China. Anywhere. I'll pay for his plane ticket.
But you know what? Danny Welbeck at the start of the season was playing really well. He's fallen off and he's really on poor
He
form.
couldn't finish his dinner. I've always said that his finishing's shocking. He's just not good enough. Sorry. I'd rather give the likes of Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah a chance.
And the defenders at the moment.
Shocking.
Against Bournemouth, there was 4 defenders, they showed it, running for one man.
In the first time. They've done it against Liverpool, Liverpool's 3rd goal.
Yeah.
Remember Salah, of all people. Top goal scorer in the Premier League. Is he? Or is he Harry Kane?
Top goal scorer.
Right. He's running off through the middle. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, hey, yeah, I'm just going to run free. And there's 4 players running off.
Who's got Salah?
Do you know what I mean?
What, you mean the best player in the league? The one who scores every week? Who's got him?
Oh, and it's just, our defending is just so schoolboy, so...
Rob Holding and Callum Chambers were poor last week.
Callum Chambers.
But then the weird thing about it is just before that, against Chelsea, this is what I'm saying, it's a focus issue. Against Chelsea, defensively, they were excellent.
You know what it is?
Chelsea!
When you don't have pace up front, and when you don't try and play balls in behind, and when you put the balls in the air, they're comfortable. It's easy. Morata is not the quickest. Chelsea were not trying to stretch us and play balls in behind.
Yeah, but when you got guys like Willian and that came on, they still were good.
But they were comfortable because they were playing to what they were comfortable with. They weren't turning them the other way. Now,
they didn't even hardly have anything to do. They hardly had anything. I think it's a concentration thing. They hardly had anything to do against Bournemouth.
But what I'm saying is as well, Callum Wilson and Jordan Ibe and all them are not, up there in that level of the top draw footballers, but they're quick. And the moment they got the chance to turn them round, they knew that they could stretch them.
Yeah, but they're up
against them all over the place.
Chelsea, they're up against Hazard, they're up against Willian, guys like this.
What I'm saying is Hazard's not running in behind you. Hazard's running directly at you. He's trying to... They're very much like us with the pockets. And
I don't think they concentrate. I really don't. I saw Maitland-Niles in that game, just like, he's got the ball under no pressure, no one's near him. Just passed it straight to a Bournemouth player, he nearly run through and scored.
I know.
I'm like, what, man, are you not thinking about the game? Petr Cech in that game, not concentrating for the first goal. It's like he had nothing to do the whole game. The first thing you got to do is he weren't concentrating. I'm sorry, his concentration was not on. So he didn't get off his line quick enough.
You look at Ederson at Man City. He wouldn't have even been coming out for that cross with his hands. He would have been out there actually taking that with his foot and going into midfield with it and then spraying the ball out. But Petr Cech was just so slow off his line.
I really do think there's a lack of concentration sometimes.
The whole club is a mess, right? And everything that's going on, right? And the way it's going to change is that we need new coaches, new manager, new blood, new life in there. So you can change the players as much as you want. I've noticed the thing that they've started doing now in the warm-up, and it makes me laugh my head off.
With the cones?
No, we're letting Hector Bellerin go out on the right-hand side and start putting crosses in the box.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
First and foremost, he's clearly heard all of us saying that he can't cross, right? And they sit there and they put him out there to cross the ball. And the moment the game starts, he doesn't cross the ball.
And the thing is, when
I'm just like, what are you doing? Is it for show? Are you doing it in front of us to try and make us go, oh, look, Hector's practicing on his crossing.
And he can cross it too.
Wonderful. But once there's a defender up his arse and putting him under a bit of pressure, he can't cross. Simple.
And the past couple of games when he's been bold and got forward and did what he used to do last season, he scored.
I'll tell you what I would love. I'd love to do an interview with an Arsenal player that's left. I don't think it would be a current player because they probably wouldn't...
They take the F off.
No, they probably wouldn't open up.
You criticise me every week.
You know what I mean?
Interviewing you.
Now, do you know what? If I hadn't called him a Ninja Turtle, Oxlade-Chamberlain probably would have actually sat and had a conversation with us because he knows us. And
look at Oxlade-Chamberlain now. He's flying.
No, he's still a Ninja Turtle.
To be fair, he was flying last season.
I'm not giving him no credit.
He was playing well last season as well.
Still a Ninja Turtle, man. He hurt me, man. Bastard. I thought he was one of my boys. He was Venka out, man. He was one of the crew. You know what I mean?
No, he was Ox out. He's gone, and he's doing.
But I'm adamant.
He's
adamant
playing for one of the most exciting teams in Europe right now.
Out. Oxlade-Chamberlain was Wenger out. That of that tweet of ArsenalFanTV was not by accident. Them mans were all sitting on the back of the coach going, fuck, who are they roasted this week? Quick, let's have a look. And Ox is there looking and not even realise that he's accidentally pressed the like button, and then next thing his phone's on meltdown. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, what have I done? You know what I mean? I know them play. They all watch it. They watch it. They know what goes on. I had the conversation with Rob Holding after the Watford game when he was doing the warm down, and I got his shirt off him. And he knows who we are. Rob Holding's the one that calls Aaron Ramsey a ham roll and told him where it all come from. Mustafi's getting interviewed for Germany by Mercedes. Ask what TV programme do you watch? Sometimes ArsenalFanTV. Even the foreign players.
He said when we win.
You know what I mean? Even the foreign players are starting to see it. You know.
Well, I hope the message is getting through to them that I
hope they do.
That the fans want to see you. They don't know how badly the fans want to see them.
I hope they don't take any of the criticism personal.
Yeah, the fans want them to succeed, but
I hope they realise that the reason why we say certain things and the reason why we're so angry is because
we're frustrated.
We're frustrated. We love the club so much and we put so much in that when we don't see anything given back, it annoys us. You know, we've never gone on ArsenalFanTV and sat there and said something about a player, you know, in terms of, you know, criticising their families or, you know, cross the line or something like. If I say to you that I think you're shit, yeah, don't take it personal. All right? I just think that you're shit.
No, I won't take it personal.
Listen, Robbie, let me tell you something, yeah? Let me tell you something.
You're shit. No, I don't take it personally.
Listen, let me tell you
something. That's all right. Keep going.
Listen, if I was getting paid 100 odd grand a week, yeah, I'd let you knock on my front door and tell me I was shit.
No, you wouldn't.
I would let you in my house, sit and have a cup of tea. I'd make you a cup of tea, put as many sugars as you want in it, pour your milk, make sure it's the right temperature. I would do all of that.
No, you wouldn't.
And you could call me shit.
No, nobody likes excessive criticism. But listen, they know at the moment that after a performance like what they did at Bournemouth, they have a right. We have a right to criticise them because that was just not good enough. Palace this week is going to be tough. They're going to have to put in a much better, because Palace are a way better team than Bournemouth, in my opinion, and they've got good players in Zaha and Townsend and people like that.
Watch him come back and haunt me. I said he got a head shaped like a 50p piece, didn't I? When we played him the other week. Watch him go and score a header. A
lot of things, to be fair, have been coming back to haunt you recently, innit?
Watch Zaha go and score a header.
Videos and little things have been coming back to haunt you.
Watch Zaha.
Anyway, I won't mention that again.
Shut your mouth, Robbie. Yeah.
Listen, we come to the end of the show today. Really enjoyed it. Listen.
Did we record this one?
Did we record this one? This one record? It better have done.
Yeah.
But trust me, man. Yeah, I mean, you were on the verge of getting your head. What?
Know what I mean?
Yeah?
Cost you more money. Do you know what I mean?
What's that?
Do you know how much I charge?
Is it? What, 140 grand a week?
Yeah, 140 grand.
You're shit, then.
Yeah, tell me I'm shit. Tell me I'm shit.